Trax is sponsored by Can-Am. We're built for this. Polaris, the world leader in off-road innovation. And by Yamaha, conquer outdoors.
High Lifter, the name that's synonymous with mud and Polaris. Two companies that have formed a bond like few others and created a legacy of exceptional mud performance. And today I get to pull back the curtains of the High Lifter Proving Grounds, a recently opened to the public facility, along with asking questions of Polaris off-road marketing manager Josh Hermes about how the High Lifter relationship works and what's new for 2019.
Yeah, so we actually test here on site. Our High Lifter products were developed in partnership with High Lifter, the King of Mud. It's an awesome opportunity for us to have access to this property to really come out, put the machines through the test as our consumers would, put a ton of miles on them, and really make sure that they're built to withstand what our mud customers are putting them through. The team at High Lifter really knows the mud consumer and the demands. They've got years and years of experience. And so being able to partner with them to develop our High Lifter Edition lineup has been incredibly valuable. They've done a great job of really bringing their knowledge of that consumer and of the needs of the product to us to help us put the best mud machine out in the market that the industry's ever seen.
The High Lifter lineup from Polaris is a unique product line because Polaris links and works directly with High Lifter to both test and produce these units. But another group of people that they take a lot of input from might just surprise you.
So there's a number of things that we took direct consumer feedback and put it into the 2019 models. We took some graphics designs and actually put them out on social media and said, hey consumers, tell us what you like. And we actually had people vote. The top rated graphics package is what you see on the machine here. So it was really cool to take that direct input, give people an opportunity to voice their opinion and have it come to life for them. So I think it was really awesome to be able to do that.
Now for 2019, all High Lifter models have seen updates, but when it comes to the RZR XP 1000, it's seen the most significant updates, and most of them focus around the driveline.
Yeah, we really made an effort across the entire driveline and suspension to really beef up the new High Lifter Edition. Fully sealed suspension bushings and bearings, stronger front diff, stronger prop shaft in the front as well, carrying all the way through the driveline to the rear. Even the clutches for the 2019 model are completely redesigned. We actually use a 32% larger belt on this machine for increased strength. It's actually the same belt that was on our 144 horsepower XP Turbo, now on the new RZR XP 1000 High Lifter Edition. We've got double the airflow into that clutch, so that it's improved cooling to ultimately prolong belt life, especially when you're in tough conditions like the mud. It now has a geared reverse versus a reverse chain, which we had previously. So when you get buried in the mud, which may happen from time to time, you've got improved strength in reverse to get back out of that hole.
There's a lot of easy to identify updates for 2019, but some of the more significant ones are in places that you might not even think to look, but are going to seriously benefit you when you're out riding in the mud.
Yeah, so we know as soon as you hit the mud pit, your machine gets caked with mud. Sometimes 100, 200 pounds of mud. And so we've actually specifically calibrated the suspension to ride better with that additional mud on it. So we know that it's going to happen, and we want to give you the best ride in your normal use case with that machine. And so it actually has stiffer springs, and then the valves have been calibrated as well so that it actually rides best with about 200 pounds of mud on it across the lineup, and also maintains that ride height. So as you're going through the deep stuff, you're still maintaining that ground clearance.
The RZR High Lifter was one of my favorites for the day for sure. The visuals truly set it apart, and some of the exterior parts and pieces make it way different. But they're not just for good looks, ultimately, they're functional.
So we were very intentional about what we put on this machine and how we put it on there and where we located it. So with the extreme front bumper with the bars on the sides, when you've got 50 feet of line extended and you're pulling your machine out of a mud pit, you want to be able to get that retracted as quickly as possible and then get back to riding. And so with those bars on the side, you're able to S-wrap that line around the bumper. Also, we mounted the winch up higher. So when you're buried in a mud pit, you don't want your winch mounted down. You want it up high, so it's not buried under the mud and you have easy and quick access to it, and it's not obstructed.
At the end of the day, the High Lifter lineup isn't just a lift kit and some aggressive tires. And to hear Josh speak directly to the dedication that Polaris has, really proves to me the commitment that they make to the mud rider.
Really cool on our XP1000 is we have our new premium half doors, but those have been modified specific for mud use with a 1-inch clear out on the bottom. So as that cab has water coming in, it's able to quickly drain out and you don't have that sitting within inside the cab. Moving to the back, we have high mounted air intakes. So as you're going through the deep stuff, it's keeping water and mud out of the air intakes for the clutch as well as the engine. On the Ranger XP1000 3-seat and crew models, we have 28-inch Outlaw 2 tires. On the Sportsman lineup as well as the RZR XP1000, we have 29.5-inch Outlaw 2 tires. So High Lifter, they know mud tires. These things are designed to not only bite, but to clear out well also. You don't want that mud staying gummed up in there. They're phenomenal tires. You'll really find that out as you get to spend some time in the mud, just how aggressive these tires are and how well they pull you through the mud.
Dirt Trax is sponsored by Princess Auto, a unique world of equipment, tools, and more. Closed captioning of Dirt Trax is sponsored by MBRP Power Sports, race-inspired performance.
When you get a guy like Josh in an interview, it's really nice to be able to sit back and just ask those questions that you've always wondered. And for me, one of them is what Polaris truly thinks sets the High Lifter lineup apart from the rest of the mud-specific vehicles built in this industry.
Yeah, our machines are calibrated to ride how you need it to ride, when you need it to ride that way. And what I mean by that is our power steering, for example, it's a progressive rate. So as you increase speed, it actually will ease off of the assistance to make sure that you've got the right amount of assist for the right speed. You're not having to dial in to a certain setting to get the power assist that you want. It just is calibrated and fine-tuned to give you what you need when you need it. And then you combine that with our true on-demand all-wheel drive, where our front diff will lock, which is a fraction of a revolution of wheel spin. What that allows you to do then is when you're in four-wheel drive and you don't have that full-time lock front diff, turning, especially when you're at full lock on your turn, is made much easier. You don't have all that weight in the steering, and some front diffs out there, the fully locking ones, will actually disengage at certain speeds if you're in a full lock turn, and you don't want that, right? So when you're out there and you're in a fully locked turn, typically you need the four-wheel drive then, right? And so we've really calibrated these machines to provide the best riding experience based on the demands that we know our customers have, and it keeps you focused on what you're doing and not thinking about how you need to be setting up your machine in the moment.
The working relationship with High Lifter is strong here. I mean, you can feel the passion that both of these companies have for this industry, and I truly believe that this is going to be one for the long haul.
Mud riding, is really gaining a lot of traction, especially over the last few years. I mean, you're really seeing it pick up momentum, and we're fully committed to this industry. I mean, as evidenced by our growing lineup, right? We now have Ranger, RZR Sportsman. We have 2- and 4-seat models in RZR and 3- and 6-seat models in Ranger, and we're really committed to serving this customer, and our partnership with High Lifter is just another example of that. Those guys really, really know what they're doing. They know the mud consumer well. They are mud enthusiasts, and they're located in the heartland of the mud riding community. We're able to take all the information that we get from our consumers, all the knowledge that we get from High Lifter, and we're really able to put out the best mud machine in the industry, hands down. Something that's extremely important to us is taking feedback from our owners and incorporating that into our machines. General experience, but application-specific experiences that they're having to make sure that we're putting the best machine possible out there. And when you combine all the feedback that we get from our massive owner base, as well as the input and expertise that we gain from our partnership with High Lifter, we're really able to build the best mud machine in the market from the ground up. It's not just taking Ranger XP1000 and bolting some accessories on it and putting it out there as a mud machine. It's beefing up the drive line. It's increasing the durability of the suspension. It's increasing protection underneath as you're hitting things that might be hidden in the mud. We really thought about every single aspect of this machine and put time and effort into fine-tuning and calibrating areas of the machine that we know have a lot of additional stress from mud riding.
After spending the day buried in the mud in Louisiana at the High Lifter Proving Grounds, I get it. Polaris and High Lifter together are producing some seriously aggressive units for 2019. With customer feedback integrations and obvious steps forward, are they the best in the industry? Well, I'm not sure just yet, but I'll tell you one thing, they're not leaving much room for error.
Dirt Trax is sponsored by Shock Strap. Start strapped, stay strapped.
The RS1, a completely new category to off-road fun, and a vehicle that we've been nothing short of impressed with. But does the RS1 allow for more than just high-speed off-road riding? Could it morph into other disciplines, and would rock crawling be one of those? We decided to gather a pile of accessories for the RS1, and we're going to answer that very question. Due to the incredible sightlines and ability to spot wheel placement, we think that the RS1 is going to be exceptionally capable out on the rocks. And when we're done, we're going to put it to the ultimate test. And utilizing easy-to-find accessories, yeah, that's key. Sure, there's lots of custom-built stuff or products from halfway across the continent, but many times those parts and pieces are severely costly, or shipping escalates the out-of-pocket expense. For ease of access, we went with dealer-available accessories, because they offer a unique benefit to the installer, guaranteed fitment. While this seems basic, it's not a guarantee you're going to find with many other accessory brands, and we want to know just how quick and easy we can transform our RS1, and this is one of the ways that we can accomplish it. The Extreme Duty front bumper offers us a whole bunch of benefits. Protection is obviously one of those, but not the least of which is the added bonus: this comes with a built-in winch mount. A lot of aftermarket bumpers will allow for a winch or fairlead mounting location, but may require extra parts or pieces to accomplish the task. This particular bumper offers both, and it's guaranteed to work with Polaris brand winches, as well as bolt up without fitment issues. If we find ourselves winching in a lot of rocky conditions, the wide-space bumper arms are designed to allow us to S-wrap the winch rope and are going to save us a lot of time not needing to return the rope to the winch each time. And speaking of the winch, I knew that ease of install was one of the keys for this build, and Polaris offers something that's truly unique to the market, and that's a winch that's pre-wired for our RS1. It's a 4,500-pound Pro HD winch, much like a Warn or Super winch in its overall design. However, unlike the competition, Polaris offers this winch pre-wired so you don't have any guesswork. Everything's taken care of and you just have to plug and play with the supplied harness. While the battery leads do need to be run to the battery posts, the rest of the installation is pre-wired, and it even comes with the body clips pre-installed so you can safely and securely hide the wiring. Something no other winch manufacturer offers. The front auto-stop fairlead senses when the winch bumper gets close and automatically stops the winch from over-tightening the 50 feet of synthetic line, and the 1.6 horsepower motor will pull 4,500 pounds consistently, getting you out of even severe conditions. While a 3,000 pound or 3,500 pound winch might do, I'm of the school of thought that more winching power is always better. And keep in mind that this is the rapid recovery Polaris HD winch, so the winch line goes back in 5 times faster than the competition. Now, as we move around the side of the RS1, there's the obvious areas for contact when we're out rock crawling, and we've all seen torn up floorboards when we're out on the trails. The extreme kick-out rock sliders and steps are big. Not just a steel overmold or UHMW cover, these are like Nerf bars for the RS1, and will take a beating. Install is a little trickier as you do have to make a few cuts with a hole saw, but the unique benefit, yet again, is the fact that these are built to fit. So once the plastic circles have been removed, the frame brackets are visible, and the steps bolt on smoothly. At this point, I don't know of any Pro Armor or similar versions for the RS1, as it's such a new vehicle, which makes the Polaris brand parts unique in many ways. The rock sliders are sturdy, and once we finish the build up in a couple weeks' time, we're going to put them to the real-world test and see how they take abuse. When it comes to protection on the RS1, one area that you're really left in the dark is the rear section of the vehicle. I mean, there's just no way to see behind you. While we do plan on forward motion at all times, rock crawling can be a dance of back and forth to get proper tire placement and the right line in tough conditions. So having the assurance that a wrong reverse move won't cave in our rear plastics or damage the exhaust is what the Extreme Duty rear bumper will do. It's added insurance that we don't tear stuff up, and should we contact rocks or trees, it's a strong and beefy steel design with a durable black powder coat finish. And if you do cause some damage, you can always repaint it quickly and easily at the end of the season and be back in business. Another unique feature of this rear bumper is the camera cutout. It allows you to install a rear view camera down the road for ultimate visibility. This is just the first installment of the RS1 rock crawler build. Stay tuned to future episodes where I'll put on more bits and pieces and then finish up by taking our RS1 on the rocks.
Dirt Trax is sponsored by Argo. Go anywhere.
Honestly, the well-informed crew here at Trax Television never expected the utility side-by-side marketplace to become as seriously high performance as this all-new Can-Am Defender XTP clearly is. Yes, the new Defender XTP starts life as a 3-seat utility side-by-side, but takes the genre in a whole different and serious direction with the inclusion of a performance-tuned 1000cc 80-degree EFI V-twin breathing through 8 valves for motivation. Electronic throttle control provides normal, work, and eco-tuned throttle response. There's custom bolstered seats, an XTP bush bar, aluminum rock sliders, full underbody skid plating, Can-Am's high-performance Smart Lock 4x4 system, Fox Podium 2.0s on all 4 corners, and of course, the Defender's standard 2,500-pound load rating and 600-pound dumping cargo box. It's entirely possible you're a little confused by the standard performance amenities on this clearly utility-targeted side-by-side. Frankly, we had to drive the XTP to get an understanding of what's really going on here. The Defender 1000 is an exceptionally well-thought-out utility side-by-side with a solid chassis, class-leading ergos, and amazing innovative functionality. Most importantly, a torquey 1-liter Rotax V-twin propels all 4 wheels using Can-Am's brand-new Smart Lock 4x4. This engine, 4x4 system, and chassis combo takes the battle for utility supremacy right to Polaris's front door. We believe there is no more intense confrontation in the side-by-side biz than the matchup between Polaris and Can-Am's utility models. After my first pull, I quickly discovered what Can-Am is up to with this new XTP Defender. This is a little bit of a twist in the road for this segment. However, it might just be a bit of genius. The marketplace has responded to the Defender with completely re-engineered competitive vehicles. While the Defender became the benchmark overnight and the competition has quickly fought back, the competition hasn't fitted their utility side-by-side models with Fox shocks, bolstered seats, and rock sliders. That kind of stuff remains the exclusive domain of pure sport side-by-sides. Maybe you're wondering how the Defender XTP handles and rides. Here's my first impression. The Defender XTP uses Can-Am's dynamic power steering system, and it underwhelmed us, particularly at high speeds. The amount of wheel movement to steering wheel movement seems too slow. Overall feedback through the wheel was numb for a side-by-side with a high-performance persona. It's not a big deal, and it can be worked around. However, when it comes to suspension, the Defender XTP hits a home run. The Fox Podium shocks are superbly calibrated and provide an exceptionally compliant ride over gnarly terrain. After testing the XTP Defender, we would expect this kind of ride quality in every model variant. It's just that good. Clearly, the XTP package does an amazing job of confounding us with its excellent ride quality. Easily a measure better than the plain vanilla Defender and rivaling the Polaris Ranger XP 1000. The XTP can be plied aggressively, and those bolstered seats provide a tangible improvement in driver comfort and control, keeping your rear end locked firmly in place. Speaking of locked, the inclusion of Smart Lock 4x4 on a utility side-by-side is, well, very cool. This all-new premium system on the Maverick X3 offers instantaneous 4x4 and full diff lock automatically. From a purely aesthetic standpoint, the Can-Am XTP Defender rings our bell. The striking contrast between the black bodywork and the blaze orange trim makes a completely non-utility statement, a statement we identify with. Inasmuch as the Defender rocks 72 ponies from its 1000cc V-twin, there is room for some improvement here as a result of the recent launch of 82 horsepower competitive models. While the Defender is no slouch and a blast to drive, after one pull, we came away looking for more jam from the Defender XTP. There can be no doubt Can-Am is onto something here with the juiced-up Defender XTP for 2019. If you're in the market for a full-size, 3-seater utility side-by-side, you owe it to yourself to check out the bold and spicy XTP Defender from Can-Am.
Dirt Trax Television has been sponsored by Polaris, the world leader in off-road innovation. Can-Am, we're built for this. And by Textron Off-Road, power, performance, and precision engineering.